Yeah, hey everybody. So today we're going to look at a brand new directory theme. I cannot believe I am doing another directory theme review, but here I am anyway. All right, so a couple quick caveats. A, I'm on vacation. I'm not on my own computer, so I'm not entirely sure if this is going to work exactly as designed. If it doesn't, please forgive me. All right, so let's look really quick because a couple people have emailed me overnight about this new theme. um, it's called City2. There was a City1 that was something I've never used. I had noticed it, but I didn't buy it or use it for a number of reasons, which I will briefly describe in a few minutes. But here is this directory I'm going to share, or this theme framework, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to show you what I think is really, really cool about this, and some of the folks that I think might benefit from this specific theme, and some of the things that scare me a little bit about this, which, to be honest with you, I mean, it's $50, $49. I would most certainly recommend those of you who are doing this for a living, building directories, building authority sites, and creating these style businesses in local communities. Definitely check this out. But I don't know that I would scale this theme across many different projects. If I know some of you who are in my group are doing that as a primary living these days, which is very exciting. So I don't know that I would do that with this particular theme, and I'm going to explain why. All right, so I'm not going to log in. I'm not going to do anything really fancy. I'm just going to cover what I think is very cool about this and some of the potential shortcomings as well. So here's the homepage. You may like this or not. This is a subjective thing, but you'll see it's a big header image on top. They have some icons here. They have some typical cool search functionality as well. One of the primary differences or benefits to this theme is they do have events, right? So lots of other themes are missing events. That's a really big concern for many, many people, because if you're doing a local directory or even a larger industry niche specific project, you want to have events of some kind. You can certainly integrate something like Timely, or there are other WordPress specific plugins that you could use, but having it built in does have some advantages. The other thing that's awesome about this is offers. No other theme that I've seen has native offers built into the theme. This means on a case by case, listing by listing basis, you can offer your listings, your peers or your local professionals, the ability to put time sensitive urgency offers into the listing itself in the header, right? So it's no longer in the sidebar or underneath the listing. Listify does that. I use wpcoupons.io to facilitate the same thing in the body of the listing. This does it in the header, which I'll show you in a second. Very cool. It allows you to collect names, so you can use a MailChimp form. You can redirect to an external site. This would be your listings themselves, your peers or whoever, affiliate offers, whatever you want to do with that, you can. So it gives you a lot of flexibility to monetize your site, as well as offering the people who are going to be featured on your directory the ability to instantly monetize their listings in some really obvious, intuitive, and not hard to persuade ways. So you don't really have to, when you show somebody your directory now, you don't really have to twist their arm to kind of show them all the various ways they can make some money by having a listing on your site. If in the header of their listing, if it's a restaurant, let's say, they can put 50% off sushi on between these two dates, or if it's an event which also has offers in the header, save XYZ amount of dollars on 2 tickets. There's also a and I know I'm saying a lot very quickly, but there's also an integration with, I think it's called Foo Events, which I've never seen before actually, which is some sort of WooCommerce events extension. Also looks very cool. All right, so let's scroll down. Again, this is standard stuff, whether you like it or not. That's kind of a matter of personal preference. Events, best offers, testimonials. Every directory has this, right? So it's not really, this is just the layout of the page. Let's look at the best offers. Okay, so here you have, this is pretty nicely designed. So you have, one or two Shell Mac manicures at Smith Aesthetics. They spelled all this wrong. And, obviously my morning pronunciation ain't the best. All right, up to 50%, 56% off. I got to get my head back in the game here. All right, so this is the just a random offer, right? So you see there's an urgency element to it. So you have a countdown. You have this. It's really bold in terms of the colors. Add to favorites. All this stuff is very standard. And as you continue to scroll down, they have, the street view, inside view, which you can pull for every listing. You have all these images, which is the gallery element of each listing. And let's continue to look. Let's see if we can find one that has really good example of using that offer space to buy something. All right, so this is the map over here. You'll see they use icons really well. Let's see if we can find offers. I know I saw this up here. All right, so let's look at health and fitness offers and see what the screen does. All right, so now you see you have different icons here. So, it visually, the information is presented well. All right, so here you have another offer. Again, hard, presented above the fold or in the top element of the screen. Okay, and here you do have a buy button, so this is good for us. So here's the address. Here's the date of this offer, which is expired. You have a scroll down for more. All the stuff we looked at a moment ago in the previous listing, but in this one, we also have a buy. Now, I don't know where this is going to lead. Some of these, they just have refreshing anchored to the current page. Some of them, they actually have that you can buy the offer. So let's click on this and see where it goes. Perfect. All right, so you have a booking form built into this. I don't know what they're using here in terms of whether this is that event foo ticket event integration. I'm not sure, but it's just very cool. Whatever they're using here, it's part of the theme. It's free. It's comes with the package. No other theme that I've seen or no other directory framework has something this elegant built in. There is also an app that okay, two things. One, there is an app that you can download that I believe is free, that will allow you to really maximize your mobile presentation of this theme. I've seen some negative reviews of the app thus far, so I don't know if that's going to be a benefit or not. But for those of you who are looking for an app to go with your directory, this may be a really good solution for that. I've seen some positive and negative reviews of the app, mostly somewhere in the middle, but I think it's an exciting thing to have, as a possibility. And it's also, the whole thing is $50. So you can choose to use that or not. The other thing that's really good about this theme, let's not say it's really, the other benefit to going forward with this style theme is it integrates well with BB Press. Every good directory, if you're doing a local city, project, should have a forum of some kind. So most of the themes simply don't play well or aren't styled that well for a forum. This one is. I think that's at least forward thinking enough that, if you click on this, you'll see, like Yelp, you could have an entire forum on your site with people talking about local things, best restaurants, not bad experiences, good experiences, where to do this, where to do that. etc., etc. Every theme you could incorporate some sort of forum into, even if you're doing it via an external. I mean, you could send people to an external WordPress installation that's just running BB Press on your project. But it's nice to have this built in. I've used forums quite successfully on some projects like this, and I think it's really helpful to have. The job board they have here is also just another BB Press forum, because I did peek at that yesterday. Obviously, they have a blog. All right, so let's look at another header offer. They have different ways to present each one of your listings. Again, this is really cool, right? So you have Cinema Hall. This would be the listing that you would have on your site. And here's the offer. You have the phone number. All this is presented high up, right? So it looks good. I'm not going to scrunch this all the way down. But you also have this email form, which I'm going to assume is integrated with MailChimp, or certainly with some other analogous email service. I think it's MailChimp. I think I read that. So, and that would obviously be most intuitive as well, because it's the most popular and it's free. All right. So you could say to this, Cinema Hall company, or whoever it was, not when you pay for a listing on our directory, you're not only going to get X, Y, and Z, but you can also list build. So, I mean, you could, just put their code into the header, and you could actually build a list for them through your directory, which is insanely beneficial to you and to your clients. All right. So again, this stuff is all cool or not. I mean, that just depends subjectively on whether you think aesthetically this meets your needs. They have reviews. I like the look of this. I don't love it. It's not my favorite aesthetically down below, but on top, and this I know by dint of experience, is really what matters most on a listing. How you use this area here is super duper important, not only for obvious reasons, but also for conversion reasons. So as a quick, reinforcement of that idea, on Listify, for example, which was the first directory that really started to aesthetically improve the header of your listing. So they would incorporate different, review buttons, buy buttons, or whatever it may be in this area here. I found in the directories that I was using Listify, getting folks to click on those buttons was really challenging. So, there was all these hacks that you could, these just code hacks that you could, send people to their site or send people to a Booking Now button using a WooCommerce extension. Just became like this hodgepodge of a pain in the ass process of just getting folks to take action on the listing itself. And of course, if folks are not taking action on the listing, the folks who are paying you to be featured aren't going to be happy. This changes all that. There's no way that someone looking at this listing is not going to intuitively understand that this area here, this offer area, is the most obvious place to do something, right? So either enter an email address, buy something, as we saw in the previous example that I showed with the buy button, the buy button that led to a booking form. This is really super important. And I think really, I don't want to say revolutionary, but I think it's really transformative for those of you who are looking to build something, especially in a local marketplace, in a local city. I think this is really going to shine and stand out. All right, so we're getting pretty long into this. I don't want to continue elaborating too much more, but I will say a couple things about the reasons I wouldn't buy this. So there's a lot, or I'm going to buy it, and I would recommend you buy it as well, especially if you are really building a viable, valuable, and enduring business using the directory authority site model. But I think I wouldn't scale this theme until, in other words, I wouldn't buy multiple versions of this until a couple things were clear to me. One, the support that these guys are offering is top notch, right? And I'm saying that as a question, I'm asking that, or as I'm putting that out there as a open question, because I don't know that it is. These guys behind this theme, I've seen, some just things that don't thrill me. They don't look like some of the communication skills feel a little bit, misguided to me. Very short, terse answers to questions that I've seen on the theme forest. Comment threads. I've seen some other themes they've put out where there have been some questions that to me remain unanswered, again, with some terse sort of, I don't want to say rude, but almost bordering on brusque answers. They don't seem to be really, comfortable with some of the more English speaking, um, you know, I don't know what country they're from, and I don't want to make this sound like this is a judgment that I'm making about people who don't speak the same language as I do. But I've seen some of the disconnect between some of the longer questions that obvious English speaking folks have asked on Theme Forest or places like that, where their answers seem to be either culturally or maybe just from an attitude perspective, almost rude. And I think that's potentially a problem. There's the HTML version of this. There were a lot of questions asked from all countries and cultures and languages, and there was really no response. So that troubles me a little bit. And you compare that against some of the other, if you look at the Astoundify folks, or you look at many of the themes that are put out by professional, even small development houses, the support is clearly something that is really of paramount importance going forward, because people will have issues and issues will need to be improved with a theme or framework like this. I am not 100% confident that these guys are up to that task. I guess we will see. There's also some proprietary pieces to this, which always makes me a tad nervous. You don't know whether or not, if you want to switch out of this theme in the future, things are going to migrate well, or you're going to or the bugs that may be in this, again, this comes back to support, are going to be navigated with the same level of professionalism and integrity as many other theme providers are offering in the directory space these days. I mean, there are an avalanche of great themes that are available in the directory space, that anyone watching this right now can build a powerful, profitable, and perpetual profit stream running these style sites in any niche market industry or vertical you choose. So you're no longer relegated to choosing between Vantage or Templatic, or even something like Listify or Listing Pro or a Listable. There are just tons of great themes out. There's a new one called List Go, I believe it's called. I haven't bought this yet, but I will. That's on Theme Forest. That just looks awesome. But not only does it look awesome, these guys are supporting the hell out of this with 3-hour answers and adding features that people are asking for in real time on the comment threads. So, I mean, that's setting a really high bar. I hope these guys are equally as responsive. I'm not sure they will be. And I think that's worth watching before you really dive in and build something, or build many somethings using this style theme. Now, or not this style, this specific theme, because this style theme is great. So there you have it. I mean, those are my thoughts on this. And again, I'm recording this for YouTube based on questions that I've gotten just overnight from those of you who were in my really small group who are interested in this theme in the last 24 hours. But as a general sort of, overture to everyone who may be looking for this via Google, who's not familiar with my stuff, who might be thinking or might be considering this and wants a, somewhat objective opinion on whether the City2 directory theme is worth buying. The other thing I didn't get into, which I may in another video, if those of you who are interested in this want more, the submit. I mean, this is also pretty cool. I mean, it looks good, and you have 3 separate sets of functions: add place, add event, and add offer. And then you also have this down here, which is has an email site administrator style. Well, it's just an email. It just sends an email to the email that you specify in this link, but it allows the public or people who may be living in a certain city or may be, interested in a certain niche to actually send you pictures or get in touch. It's just a nice little feature that I like. But this, which I may cover in another video, if enough people want more of my thoughts on this theme, it's just cool. I mean, I went through all these last night, and I mean, it's just a smooth process for adding events, adding places, and adding offers. So in general, I'm excited about this. I'm excited to use it on a project. I have to pick one that's probably a little bit less. I don't know that I would really pick something that I'm really, that's top of mind right now to build using this, just until I'm sure that this is going to be bug free and ironed out and really well supported. But if it turns out that it is, which I think it ought to be, I think this is going to be just an amazing option for local city directories, and especially for those of you who are building agency style offers, because this just gives you the opportunity of really selling, again, by dint of these offers that are incorporated into the most prominent positions and places on the individual listings. All right, that's it. I'm really talking way too long. So have a great day. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask. Thanks.